Ooh. Right, okay guys, so I think this is going to be the last vlog of the day because again the battery is quite low, so not sure how much we'll get out of this one. So basically I'm kind of walking you through another little section of that other park that I was in the other day. Well, I say the other day, the 31st of last month. No, hang on, because that sounds like I'm talking about August. No, 31st of July. So that was over a month ago when I was here. And believe it or not, actually, I think that's the building that was creating all that noise. You remember when I was saying that there was a heck of a, what's the name, and I got really annoyed a couple of times, and I was trying to, you know, do some filming over there and what have you, and all you could do was crash bang wallop. Well, that's where it was. I mean, flipping heck, that's a month ago. Look at what they've done in a month. Wow. Not only did they get these buildings up quick, they started to knock them down quick and all. Wow. It really is a throwaway world, isn't it? So, yeah. So that was where that noise was coming from that day. I mean, it's pretty unlikely it was coming from over there. So, okay. Right. So, we've got some gardens up there. That's another thing. You see, it's because I very rarely come down. I mean, I've got no real reason to, necessarily. But because of that, I mean, I've just noticed I might actually double back on myself in a minute. And maybe do it quickly, because like I said, this battery, I don't know how long it's going to last. I mean, look at that thing over there. Looks like a glass flipping fish bowl almost. Right in the middle of all that. It's amazing now that, you know, like I said, these days, the way they build things, man, it's just all throwaway, isn't it? It's all throwaway. Do you know what I mean? Like when the Victorians built something, they built it for 100 years or more. Nowadays they build something that lasts 5 minutes. You know, does make you wonder. You know, considering the finite resources we have on this planet, the better management of the resources that we could use instead of just throwing buildings up willy-nilly, like that one over there for instance. I mean, look at that, right? You know, they're the building techniques they use today, and you know, just throw it up, you know, because within, I don't know, 10, 20 years time we can just chuck it down again. But there's no, like I say, you see, this is why I keep harping on about the zeitgeist movement. Watch those movies, man, because I'm telling you, you know, they have got it right. They are spot on with what they're saying. They really are. They're absolutely spot on with it, you know. And you see examples of that. You look at that and you see it, and you think to yourself, well, flipping heck, you know, doesn't that just amplify what they were saying? Exemplify? Simplify? Sorry, I was trying to think of the what's the name. Anyway, like I say, keep waffling on about stuff, but you know, I see that thing there, right? And you know, you look at that building, I don't know, 60s maybe? 60s? Maybe a bit later, I don't know. Could be a little bit earlier, but you know, regardless, I mean, it's within this century, for crying out loud. I mean, you look at that building over there, the red brick building. I mean, that's got to be at least a couple of 100 years old, maybe. You know, in the Victorian times or whatever. You know, and it's perfectly good building. There's nothing wrong with it, do you know what I mean? It's usable, obviously. It looks as though it might have been even renovated in the last year or two or whatever. But then you see these things, and like I said, you know, the thing is, this planet has got finite resources. Where do you think all the concrete comes from and stuff? It doesn't just, what's the name? It comes from everything that we pull out of the ground, essentially. All the steel, all the concrete, everything. It all comes from the ground, it all comes from the earth, ultimately. All of these buildings around us, even the plastics and stuff we use, even the glass and the laminate, that comes from sand. Do you know what I mean? It all comes from the earth. It's all earth's resources that we just keep using willy-nilly without any real care or thought about how long are they going to last, because nobody cares about the next generation or the generation after that or whatever. Do you know what I mean? Because people are just too busy with their own little lives right this minute, right this second. You know, and again, I'm not saying that, I'm not trying to make out that people are bad for doing that necessarily. That's just human. Do you know what I mean? And I can be just as bad as the next person. I'm not trying to paint myself out to be a saint here. Far from it. Do you know what I mean? But I'm just saying, at least watching those zeitgeist movements has opened my eyes a lot. Do you know what I mean? And it's made me think and realise that, all these resources that we keep using without any real care or understanding of what we're doing. It's not just about ruining the planet. It's the fact is that, like, if we keep using the resources the way we're doing, I mean, like I say, look at this building. I don't know if it was serviceable or not. Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. Maybe that's why they've only knocked this bit down. They're going to use the other bit and refurbish the whole rest of it. I have no idea, obviously, but the thing is that why don't people think, hang on, I mean, because like some of the resources that we've got, right, some of the things that we can do today with the technologies and the materials that we can develop today using those basic resources, if you watch those zeitgeist movement films, it will tell you on there that we can produce materials that will be long lasting, hard wearing against the elements and all the rest of it sort of thing, that will last a long time. That we don't have to keep using these same methods and these same materials constantly, you know what I mean? That we can use other alternatives and manage those resources much more intelligently, Anyway, like I say, if you watch the zeitgeist movement films and Peter Joseph's Culture in Decline, if you do watch those, I highly recommend them, and if you watch them, he explains it far better than I can, much more succinctly than I can, and you'll get the gist of what I'm trying to get on about, because it makes a heck of a lot of sense. It really does. Right, okay, so I'll catch you guys later. See you in a bit.